Hey everyone, and welcome to another Overwatch replay, this week hosted by Yvonne. If you haven't tuned in before, Overwatch replay is a series that comes out every Wednesday at 9 a.m. and we go over tips, tricks, strategies, everything that we've done in our own competitive matches and see how we can improve them so that you can take those into your own competitive games. As you can see, this week I'm going as Mercy and Julian's going as the Tank Diva. I've changed up my strategy with Mercy a little bit this week. I've really bumped up the sensitivity. Again, we're playing on PS4, so it's a little bit hard to turn around, but I bumped up the sensitivity to as much as I can handle. It's really high, so I can get those swivels really well and make sure that I'm flying across the battle as much as possible. As we're going forward here, I'm going to stick with the main force, our two tanks and the Reaper. Make sure that we're getting healing, damage boosts as much as I can do. And this Winston does a pretty decent job of making sure that he stays alive. I actually think the Winston character switches up. The McCree called out that he needed help with that Tracer, so I go over to try and help him. And it ended up that I could kill the Tracer, but that Reaper, or that McCree went down himself there. I've gone down. Now, at the beginning of this match, our team is kind of wishy-washy. We're not tightened up as a group. We're attacking from different sides, and that leads to a lot of mistakes, a lot of deaths. As you can see here, we have two people go down. I really wanted to save that soldier, but I couldn't. So here I'm sticking with the Diva, making sure that I can build my ult while that Diva deals with whoever's coming up against her. At this current moment, it's Tracer and Zarya. We get a team switch up. I call out maybe if Winston could work, because Winston works really well against that Tracer, and that's my strategy for the team. Again, I see that Tracer bomb go off, see that the Diva is able to pull back behind the Winston barrier, so I'm not as worried about Diva and Julien, so I'm going to focus on the criticals. Now, another thing that I've been noticing a lot when I don't play Mercy and somebody else does is that they're so concerned with the pocket heal, they're really going to ignore healing, damage boosting other characters on the screen. Now, if you pay attention, this is really terrible as a team strategy. Of course it's important to pocket heal to build that ult, but other things are important too. Making sure that you don't lose some of your smaller characters in the meantime in terms of health is exceedingly important. Here I'm going to get absolutely killed by that soldier ult because the Diva is a little too late to come in with the defensive matrix, but Julien does a really good job throughout this match of putting up the defensive matrix to make sure he can stop soldier ults and other ults that come in. Here I make a tough decision either to protect the Diva or go for the Reaper who's in Wraith form. I decide I'm going to stick back a little bit, heal that Reaper, not go for Julien. It's a tough decision that pretty much was based on who I was locked into at the first part, but they have 99% already on the point. I'm really trying to fly around. You see I got down to 11 health at some point. Diva comes in, but I'm protected by that Winston barrier, thankfully. That's what my strategy was in that moment, but I go down before I can drop off a res or anything, and both healers are down. So I'm really hoping our team can put it together to save the point. Now, their team has two healers that are pretty good. I mean, Lucio and Zenyatta are a very good pair of healers, but they don't provide as much healing coverage as a Zenyatta Mercy, just based on the fact that Mercy can heal individual characters much more strongly. And so here I'm thinking at this moment that our team is going to win this team battle, but I want to make sure that we're there for when they make the secondary push to come back in, and I figured they have enough characters to deal damage but not to kill people, and I can recharge my ult, and there we have it. I'm back at almost half charge on ult by the time the enemy is coming in again. Now here I could have left the Diva to be healed by the Zenny Orb, but why not? The McCree pushes out to the flank and gets taken out. That's going to be a recurring theme throughout this match. I can't really figure out how far to go out in terms of healing that flanker, but it seems that a decent strategy is to keep with the center of your comp and make sure that the healing is going against there. So what my strategy basically with Mercy is to make sure that I'm on the flanks as much as possible and flying through the middle, bouncing from one side to the other to make it hard for teams to really focus and concentrate on me as I'm moving across as much as possible. Trying not to fly in the air where I'm super slow, but making sure that I have movement and momentum going forward. Here's just the basic idea of keeping everyone healed as much as possible, making sure that Winston has his armor patches, because that makes Winston the most formidable that he can be. I'm staying out of this team fight because I feel that I have the res if they come out with any kind of ult that will prevent the team from capping the point or maintaining the point rather, then I want to be able to res it. And I res the one because I saw that we were winning the team fight, and there we go. Alright, so here we go, starting the second round, and we're going into do some damage. We have pretty much the same composition, and I think it is exactly the same composition, and I'm going to stick with the people on the right side here, sticking with that Winston and the D.Va. The Reaper goes in on the other side. He's going to get really low. Thankfully his Reaper form, his Wraith form can help him escape to a health pack, whereas the Winston gets bumped off by the Lucio. As you see, here's an example of when it's incredibly difficult to balance out the healing needs of the team. So of course I've got the tank right here, and I've got the 2 DPS over here. Now I've got a critical McCree, which is difficult because McCree has no self-heal ability, whereas Reaper can pick up Death Orb. And so I need to balance out healing the D.Va with healing the McCree. Now, what I've decided to do is heal up the D.Va as much as I can, and then I'll swing over to try and heal up the McCree and the Reaper as much as I can, focusing mostly on the McCree, and utilizing the knowledge that I have of playing with Julien and knowing that he plays a very good conservative D.Va in terms of deliberate use of the defensive matrix, and he's able to stay alive a lot longer than other more aggressive D.Vas do. So here I'm going to swing over and balance that out on the right side by going to our DPS. And as you can see, I can't save the McCree, but I get to the Reaper in time, and I'm able to balance out healing between the Reaper and the D.Va. When one gets focused, I can put the healing on them, and thankfully they don't get focused too much, and that Winston barrier actually really does a lot to save them. Winston is taking a lot of damage from this Tracer. I'm trying to move in so I don't get focused by the Tracer while also maintaining that Reaper. That Winston really does a lot to heal himself at this moment in time. I see 2 are down. I'm taking so much damage, but I'm hoping that I get to the point where I can res both of them. That's a risky play. I probably shouldn't have done it in reality, but because of the new patch which gives Mercy the ability to be invulnerable while she is resing, I'm able to heal them and pull myself out at the same time. Now we've got a fully mexed D.Va, a Reaper who's able to pull himself off the point, and a lot of our characters. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to push through, make sure I'm protected by that Winston barrier, and I'm going to heal as many people as I can. That D.Va is doing a really good job in the background of eating up the soldier ult. I can't save the mech, but I can maintain the damage output from Reaper to help secure the point. In the previous match that we had played earlier that day, our DPS wasn't able to take out who we needed to, and so I was really concerned with being able to maintain the point, and that's why I'm so serious about balancing out and healing that Reaper. Now as you can see, I'm almost at my ult, but I go down because they finally focus me enough that I can't move around. But 10,000 healing, not bad for the second round. Here we go, pushing in. They, again, started off by having a lot of percentage to the point. There I get the 2-person res, including one of them being the D.Va. So here we go. We're able to put up a lot of damage ourselves. I'm trying to make sure that low people are maintained. Now here it's also difficult because you want to push out, but you want to also maintain positionality on the point. So I let that Zenyatta die, probably shouldn't have, but I'm trying to stick with the tanks for that strong pocket heal. Here I get super lucky. I get down to 11 health. Thankfully I'm able to grab that health pack, fly around, get to the point, hide in this Winston bubble, and that's the only thing that saves me. They res. Our Reaper was trying to make sure that he could kill that Mercy before the res went off. Wasn't able to. Gets a few kills. Our McCree pulls off his Deadeye. I've got my res back. really focusing the Lucio because he has the orb, and I'm calling out, oh, the Lucio's on the point. There we go, we grab him down. And Battle Mercy reigns supreme again. So here's the basic idea of where to position yourself, maintaining the callouts when you need to. You see when that diva goes up in the air like that, she's clearly going to be dropping her ult. One person down. I'm waiting because I see two people at half health. Maybe one of them will go down. It's the difficult position of Mercy, I think, when you see people are going down. Do you heal them all the way, or do you wait for them to go down and then go with the res? On that res in particular, I wanted to hide and wait out the soldier out as much as possible before dropping the res. When you have those long ults that are going to last for a while, like Soldier or Roadhog, you want to wait them out as long as you can without losing the point, losing a lot of the team that's probably spread out because they're trying to hide from it, and just balancing it out. Alright, so here we go, ready for the next round. We're up 2-0, really doing well, and here we make a deep strategic error. So our two tanks push into the middle. You'll see the Diva and the Winston went that way, while the Reaper called for a group up to push on the right side. So they're in there. The Winston is low. I can't get to him in time. He goes down. The Diva is getting eaten up. Luckily, I'm able to get to Diva on time, and she's able to use her defensive matrix. Julien times it out well so I can do a lot of healing. I saved this McCree thanks also to the defensive matrix, but now Diva's mech is down. Julien is in a vulnerable position. We have a lot less damage, a lot less protection, and I don't feel super comfortable, but I don't want to lose the battle for the point. We've already lost the point, but I want to keep pushing to gain this point back. We haven't lost it completely. And I'm so close to my res that if we go down on the point, I feel that I can bring it back. This Winston repeatedly almost goes down, but thanks to his own ability to survive, does a lot to keep himself alive. Now the McCree is down, I can res that, but I want to wait. Again, I'm waiting for an ult to go off. I feel that another ult can come from people like Soldier or another offensive character, and I want to hold my ult until multiple people are down, and I feel that pressure coming onto the point. So here they're trickling in quite a bit. They're not able to do a lot. There's a really well-timed ult by Zenyatta to make sure he stays alive, is able to do a lot of healing, and it's important to balance out, you know, the ults in terms of being able to, you know, save yourself. If you're Zenyatta, it's important to be able to drop the Orb of Discord and the Orb of Healing. And so there we go. Now at this point we have our McCree pushing out to the flank. Again, this is one of those times where I don't want to fly over to him. I don't feel confident that McCree can take out people in a one-on-one scenario because I've seen him go down before. And I also don't want to be stuck alone with no guarantee that I can float over to somebody that we have closer to the point with the rest of the team. So I'm going to stick with the team. Here we have the Winston. He's going to try and target me and the other healer. So I focus on the other healer. Julien drops his ult. It is a really strong way of canceling out the ult of the Winston because it forces him to retreat or do other things. One person down, second person is going down. In the time that it took me to initiate the res, Julien's gone down too, so now that's a triple res on the point. Surprising for me, but that allows us to counter out what they've been dropping on us. Reaper drops his ult, is able to clear a few people, and now we've just got the Tracer left and the enemy Winston and Lucio. Now the Winston's the one that really bothers me because he's able to and is focusing me, but again, I just dropped my res in the middle of that team battle and I'm back to 60-something%. We're doing a good job of maintaining close connection and not losing each other all that much. So here I'm trying to maintain my position while with the DPS while not being a target for that soldier. Here we go. I see that McCree is going low. I see the Tranquility come out, so I feel comfortable to pull out my gun. I also see that Julien's low, so I really want to heal him so I can get my res. Now I've got my res back. I'm ready for them to push if they're going to. I can clear the Zenyatta, he's alone, and that's it. We've cleared the point. We've made sure that we stuck together. I had my res in case, and there we go. 20,000 healing, 5 deaths. Anyway, thanks for coming out this week to watch some Overwatch replay with me, your host. I hope you got some real insights into how to move around with Mercy, the idea of balancing out when somebody's going to die versus the res on them, and making sure that we hold out as long as possible on those reses when an ult is going off, so we do maximum of turning the tide back around and flipping the tables on the enemy team. Thanks so much. Check out our other content as you've seen it promoted earlier in the video. Peace out, and I'll leave you with the play of the game.
Play of the match.
Heroes never die.